doing a video of how to do tea, ready to drink style tea, but this is a sweetened tea. This is my grandmother's recipe. So just want to give you guys these are the teas I've already made that are sitting there, and the reason they're sitting there is because there's still heat in the brewing or in the jar, and that heat will still brew. So it'll still actually brew. If I were to put ice in them, or I were to put this in the refrigerator, what it would do is it would stop the brewing process, and it would they would be weak. So by letting them sit here with all the heat in the temperature or heat in the jar, they continue to brew for another 10 minutes or so. It just kind of matures them, matures the flavor profile. This is a tea from Sri Lanka that I got directly from the garden. I have a relationship with the garden. So first thing is, while you're brewing, what you don't want to do is you don't want to rinse. If you're going to make the same tea, you don't want to rinse out the container, because I want to keep all the heat in the container. So I want to shake the leaves out, but I'm going to leave, if there's a few straggler leaves in there, that's not going to hurt anything. So I keep the lid in here, so that stops it from beeping. So I'm going to put that in there like that, just to stop it from beeping while I'm adding more tea leaves. So I'm going to reach in, grab some tea leaves. You want to, for tea, you're going to fill this like 70–80% full. There's plenty of room around the leaves for them to expand, so don't need to worry about that. But so what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab this, put the top on, and it'll drop into the little ears. There's 2 ears there, and it'll drop into those ears, and then you give it a good nice tight, and then shake it. And you might even want to give it a little tap like this, because what that does is there's a ball in here, and that's going to make sure the ball drops, which is very important to the brewing process. So now I'm going to put it in, make sure it's pulled over to here, to this arrow. That'll stop the beeping. And then I'm going to go, you can see back there, what I'm doing here is grabbing a couple of jars. One there. I like to make 2. I've got 2 machines, so I like to make 2 at a time. It's just pretty awesome. Sorry about the background noise there. Those are the so if it's the same tea, I always fill it to the same spot. I fill it to the same spot on the brewing chamber. And that's how you really don't need to measure it if you always put it to the same spot on the brewing chamber, and it's the same leaf size. Of course, you have to change that for each leaf size, but there I'm gonna shake it. A little tap, 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 and then over there. Put this here. Now I'm gonna make a sweetened tea, so I've got my scale here. I'm going to figure out how much sugar I want to put. I'm going to tare it, and then I'm going to put 50 grams in, because that's the same amount that's in like a typical soda. You can cut that down whatever you want, but this is my grandmother's recipe, so I'm using 50 grams, which is what she told me to use. 50. There we go. Put it in there so you get it nice and mixed up. Check my water levels. Alright, cup size. I like to put it on the lowest setting here because it just seems to work better for the cold, or the teas that I'm going to put in the fridge. because it moves through a little faster. So I'm gonna let you guys check this process out um, while I clean up a bit. I'm not even looking, so I'm not sure how it looks, but that should be pretty good for you guys to take a look. So I'm not going to put this on ice at all. What I'm going to do is when they've been developed all the way in the jar, then I'm going to put it right in the refrigerator. And what they'll do is they'll go from there right into the fridge, right there. And then I'll let them just naturally cool down from there. Give them a little shake. It's going to take about 90 seconds, something like that. 60 to 90 seconds. And what's happening here is you've got agitation, you've got pressure, but the main thing is it's going to be the same every single time because you've got pressure and agitation. So they will be equal every single time because the process is controlled. That's the big thing, is controlling the process. Looks like we got a race going here. Maybe I'll time lapse this for you guys so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. But what I do is, in the meantime, I'm grabbing the lids that are going to go on the jars, so that as soon as they're done, they're ready to go over and keep developing. And if they go all the way to the top, it may be a little bit different sometimes. You can just go put a little bit of that out. A lid on. These are just your typical canning jars. So shake it up like that to get the sugar. And the sugar will dissolve in there. And because it's still hot, it will be nice and mixed in there, nice and married with the tea. So this is an old-fashioned sweet tea from the tea's from Sri Lanka, which is off the coast of India, but the recipe goes back to the old South, which is where my grandparents are from, Arkansas to be specific. But grew up drinking sweet tea, and there is a secret ingredient here. I won't reveal. You don't have to use it, but maybe I'll tell you if you guys all subscribe. Okay? Thank you very much.